A second part of the problem of sexual misconduct involving teachers in Clark County School District is that background checks are limited in what they'll show state and district officials in the hiring process. This is one way experts say predators exploit a loophole to continue working, even if they've previously been accused of sexual misconduct with minors. Two bills are in the works to change that. Assembly Bill 362, also known as the Sesame Bill, sponsored by Assemblywoman Jill Tolles, and Senate Bill 287, sponsored by Senator Heidi Gansert, are aimed at catching those who won't show up on a criminal background check.
We cannot rely solely on background checks, fingerprint checks. It's a false sense of security because so many of these predatory teachers have been passed from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So what this bill does is it requires, upon hiring, employers to look at their full employment history, to go back to every previous employer where the applicant worked with children or was in a supervisory role over children. So this bill addresses the issue from the front end.
Tolles' bill requires applicants to disclose past information about sexual misconduct investigations, and districts would be authorized to share that information. It also requires the Department of Education to keep and distribute a list of people who have been denied licenses because of sexual misconduct charges to districts.
Until something happens where across the nation, in our case, because we recruit from across the nation, there is some sort of national policy on this. It limits what we can find out because we're not always going to get the truth from other districts and other employers.
What is exciting about this bill is that it takes it one step further to truly protect and prevent from abusers getting into the system.
The most powerful and life-changing thing that you can ever say to a victim of sexual assault, and specifically to a child of molestation, is "I believe you." Is the most powerful thing that anyone will ever say to any of us. Supporting this amendment and saying that even if a court does not find sufficient evidence to bring charges against someone, but that those records can stay in that file, allows the victim to know that the story that they had the strength to bring forward, if anything, at least it can possibly help protect the next child from being victimized, and sometimes that's the only thing that we have in this life.
Gansert's proposal expands on existing mandatory reporting laws requiring employees to report on other employees, not just parents or guardians suspected of child abuse or neglect. Telling law enforcement triggers the welfare agency, and if the report ends up being substantiated, it'd be added to the central registry.
Reinforcing mandatory reporting laws, those are all after the fact. That means a child's already been hurt. And they're necessary too because we have to make sure that those reports are made. But this type of legislation, the Sesame Bill, it's addressing the issue from the front end to prevent predators from getting into the classroom in the first place.